Wow, this is 2020. I can't even believe that. I am super excited. Wow, it's the new year. It's coming with so much in stock, and I want you to be very optimistic. I know I'm not sounding like that. I should be jumping up and be screaming, but I need to be calm so that I can do this show. This time. My name is Auntie Chichi, and this is another amazing year. I promise you, if you are optimistic enough, if you have faith in yourself and in God and the things that you have put in place, trust me, this year is going to be an amazing year for you. So I want you, the first thing is to even have that belief that this is going to be the best for you. 2019 was amazing for me, but I am super hopeful that 2020 is going to top it all. It's going to be like the best year so far. That's how it's supposed to be. So this is me trying to say Happy New Year to you. I hope you enjoyed the holidays. You enjoyed the Christmas and the New Year Eve. I know you had lots of fun. I promise you, this year we are going to bring fresh shows, fresh and amazing show all together, and highly inspiring, bringing back-to-back interesting themes on this show. And I want you to feel free to reach out to me if you want to be a part of the show. This is just us doing introduction for the year, and then subsequently you're going to understand what I'm talking about. But today I went to the streets. Before we went to the street, I was able to talk with my teenager. I call her my teenager, my protege, let me put it that way. And then it's us trying to find out what happened in the past 10 years in their lives, and also their advice to teenagers out there. Trust me, you need to sit tight and watch the show. You will learn one or two things and be able to get yourself ready for the year. Don't go nowhere, we'll be right back. Welcome back. This is still Teens Time. My name is Auntie Chichi, and like I said, this show is just to get the opinions of a lot of young people who try to do a small recap of how 2010 to 2019 was, and their advice for us in this new year. I have with me Ota Chinemejoy. First, I want to know, did I get that you prefer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, so Ota Chinemejoy.
Yes.
So, you are such an inspiration to a lot of young people. At 19, your story, you felt we should make a movie out of. I'm actually planning to make a movie out of your story, and we write a book out of your story, because a lot of young people will read you and be inspired to believe that you can never give up in life.
Yes.
So, tell me, in the past 10 years, what has happened? Just do it in a recap.
Well, the next 10 years, 2010 was actually a very tough year for me, because that was the year my mom died. So I was 10. So I was already fatherless at the moment. So losing my mom was like an extra blow to me. And I knew the type of family I had, they are not very supportive. They are not people that will just wake up and say, okay, I want to take you up. So after the death of my mom, I knew, oh, my predicament has started. So just like I knew already, I was moved to stay with someone in Lagos, actually. So there, I went through a lot. I can't start telling my story now because I know it will take a lot of time. We might not even finish today. So I passed through a lot. I walked on the streets. I was molested. I just can't keep going. But it was quite an experience for me. But what I always believe in is that in everything you are going through, there's always a reason for it. There's always a place you meet yourself. Any place that has a starting point always has a finish line. So I just kept moving till, 2018 was an amazing year for me because of the competition that is usually held in my state, Abia State. So
2018.
Okay,
18 years.
Yes. So the year was actually an amazing year for me. It was like the year my bread was finally buttered. Let me put it that way. So
before we get to when your bread was buttered,
yes.
So how old were you when you the first time you went to sell? And what did you sell?
The first time I went to sell on the streets, I was 7 actually. My dad was already dead at the moment, so I had to leave my mom because I have 3 other siblings. So she couldn't take care of everyone, and I've always been the sacrificial person in the family. So I just volunteered to move out to, release the burden. But some people you love, they don't always return the love. I actually loved the auntie I went to move in with. I was actually very excited to move in with her, but not all gold glitters. So not everything that glitters.
So you started hawking at the age of 10?
7.
7, sorry.
Yes.
And then by the time your mom
died,
at 10, you had to be moved to a house in Lagos. And then from there, how many houses were you moved to?
4 other houses.
So you moved from one house to
other, yes, just for my education, because any slight mistake, people that are not your family, they always have a way to treat you. Well, not everybody, but most of them. So they always threatened me with my education because I love education. After God and my family, I placed my education. So they always threatened me with my education. My bags were thrown out severally. I was beaten, given rotten food many times. I was starved, but I just kept being optimistic. I know I keep pessimism out of my life. I don't like it. People, even my friends, when people are being pessimists where I am, I just can't take it anymore, even if we've been friends for years. So that was just like one thing that just kept me going. Yes.
So you kept believing.
Yes.
So what was one of the things that some of those people that you lived with said to you that you can't forget?
There are so many actually, but the one I'll say I can never forget was the second to the last person I stayed with said the sand under her feet had more value than I had. So it was
the sand under her feet has more value than you.
So I just kept imagining, so if I sweep the house and keep sand, and you place me beside the sand, that means you actually pick the sand. It just made me feel worthless, and I was always a very shy person. So getting those type of words from people how will I put it, people that I love, that I look up to, that I take as my own, hearing such things from them will even bring you down more, get you to make you worse. Like the shyness I had, it would make
you became more timid.
Yes.
Okay.
So I couldn't even speak till 2018. Sorry.
So tell me, how were you? So they were threatening your education. How were you able to keep pushing yourself in spite of the fact that the support wasn't fully there?
Now, one thing I always kept humility by my side.
Fantastic.
So anytime they threw even when I knew they were wrong, I always went back to beg. Because I knew if I left, not like no other place, there were places I would go to, but my education was not sure. It wasn't sure that I would continue my education. So I had to just.
How old were you those times?
Roughly 13. No, just after 2010, 11, I was 11, 12. I just continued moving, so I cannot just.
Yeah.
So I continued moving from place because even when people they accused me of stealing, there was even a time I tried to commit suicide.
Wow.
And all those things. So getting all those treatments actually brought me down. I was very shy. I wasn't given much time to read though, but the little time I had, sometimes when I'm eating, I just keep my book beside me. When I'm in the toilet, I'm supposed to stay in the toilet maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Sometimes I'll stay there for 30 minutes. I knew when I come out, I'll be beaten, but I preferred taking the beating to know at least I've read some things in the toilet.
Wow.
Or when I'm washing plates, I just keep my book there. When I hear sound, I'll just toss the book somewhere because I know I'll be beaten for it.
Wow.
So that was just how I was reading. Sometimes even in the middle of the night, I'll be so tired because the places I lived in, they mostly had kids I had to take care of. These 2 years, 3 years. So you have to be running up and down, looking after them. So I didn't really have much time. So most times in the middle of the night, I'll be so sleepy. I'll just glance at my book. Sometimes before I even know it, I'll see myself the next morning.
Yeah.
But I'll know at least this one page. I've grabbed something from this page.
Fantastic. Let's talk about when your bread was buttered. So 2018. This same thing that you kept holding on to, your education, was what brought you thus far. So tell us a bit about that. How did you get into the competition? It was an essay competition. So what do you think made you to be able to push yourself to get to that point?
So in the year 2018, I was actually staying with one of my teachers. She's not an Igbo person. That was the first non-Igbo, let me put it that way, I stayed with. She's from Oron. So she actually saw me in school. I didn't go to school for about a week. So when I came, she was like, why didn't you come? We have been looking for you. I had to narrate everything I've been going through. She was like, no, she can't take it, that I'm too brilliant and I'm going backwards. She had noticed I'm going backwards in my studies, so she had to take me in. So a few months later, she told me, I can't stay again, no, that I have to leave. I was like, oh my God, it was as if the world had just collapsed on my head, because I had left people that would have at least pushed me through secondary school. So I felt maybe I wouldn't continue, but by God's grace, I went to the village and then entered a public school. So there, I heard of a competition. That was one-day governorship competition in Abia State. I actually didn't believe that I would make it. I just wrote it because I've always loved writing, and in my previous schools, my uniform was always tattered, so I wasn't always given the opportunity to represent the school. So
this time around, you decided to
decided to push myself and just get in no matter what, even no matter how I look, because I knew at that moment I wasn't looking my best. So I just wrote the competition.
And before then, did you have hope that you were going to go to the university?
No, I didn't. And even my WAEC fee at the moment wasn't paid. My family, the auntie I was staying with when I was 7, her husband said the only way he'll pay for me is if I come back to live with them. And I couldn't go back. I just couldn't see myself going back to live with them. And then people were telling me, okay, come now, let us have sex with you. I'll give you the money. Even if you want to go to university, I'll pay for you. But I just couldn't see myself doing all those things. And with my past experience, the molestation I went through, it affected me badly. So when
you knew that if all they wanted was just to take advantage of you,
yes, and
they're not going to support you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I just couldn't see myself. I decided to just write the essay competition, and
so
God willing.
For want of time, because I want to hear the story, and I know people want to hear the story. It makes me cry. It makes me, because I remember when you entered that competition, you were not sure of writing WAEC. How much was WAEC?
40,000 naira.
40,000 naira. So you didn't even have 40,000 naira to register for WAEC. So I want you to look into the camera and talk to it. I mean, I don't know it, but I know your story is one that I always talk about you everywhere I go to encourage a lot of our young girls. There are so many young people out there that believe that if we don't succumb or compromise to pressures by men and people that will say, okay, do this, if you do this, I will do this for you, that they will not be able to succeed. Your story is that of, if you believe that this is possible, just keep believing and keep doing the right things. Everything will fall in place. For want of time, because we don't have enough time, what is your advice to teenagers, maybe even the ones that have lost their parents, or they have their parents but they don't have enough support, parental support, to even further their academics or their education? What's your advice to them?
After writing the essay competition, the zonal essay competition, I was called out amongst the winners in the zone, on half-year zone. I was actually shocked. I didn't believe it. I actually know that I love writing, but I didn't know in the zone I could just come out as one of the winners. And we went for the finals in Umuahia. It was tough because other students were there. When you know you are brilliant, then you come and see other students that are brilliant.
From even private schools.
From private schools.
When you are coming from government school.
And oh my God, I remember that day, the hair I was carrying, I looked so haggard. I myself, I knew I was not looking okay, but that was just what I had. So I had to come out. So imagine as the winner that day, I could not control myself. I remember jumping on Mommy Chi that day. I remember jumping on her. It was quite a turning point for me. That was the day I knew everything they said about me. I can never get married to a motorcycle rider. I can never be a dropout. That was just the day I knew, yes, my life has just begun. Okay. So my advice to teenagers out there and every other person out there that is going through molestation or went through molestation, speak up. Look for someone to speak to. And if you are staying in a place where you are not treated well, you feel, oh, this is the worst place I can ever imagine seeing myself. Just keep pushing yourself. Be your self motivator. Be your number one fan. Don't allow anybody push you backwards. If you have any friend that is telling you, oh, this is just where we end, that doesn't have vision, keep that friend aside. The person is not meant for you. And one thing that helped me, again, I have to say, is sharing my story. If you keeping your story inside, it keeps accumulating and it keeps haunting you. So tell people your story, and tell the right people your story, not just anybody. Some people, they just love listening to story, not because of it will help them in any way or they will contribute to your life. They just want to hear your story. Tell your story to the right people that will help you. So be your motivator. I have to say it again, be your number one fan. Don't allow anybody push you back, because you can make it in life.
Saying this, I believe there are teenage girls out there that are listening to you and they believe, okay, if Chineme Joy can go through this and this is where she is now, I can go through that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you,
but I want to ask you, so those people that you've lived with in the past few years, have they heard about your story that you're not, that you have more value, not just than the sound, but than them? Have they heard the story?
Yes, ma, they actually have.
Have they called you?
I chatted with the person that told me the sound under her feet had more value. So I actually saw her on Facebook. I added her up and I greeted her, because I'm not the type of person that keeps things to heart. So I chatted her. I was like, good evening, ma, how is the family and all that. She was like, she went through I think she went through my pictures, and she was like, that what happened? That she's seeing pictures with security men all over. I told her what happened. I told her, look at what I want. She was like, she's happy for me, and thank God that she always knew I would make it in life.
Really?
I was like, thank God though, it's God though. I don't know what to say to you, but it's God though.
Of course, you don't know what to say to her. All of them came to collect the 1 million naira that you won.
Yes, ma'am.
So how were you able to tell them all?
The way they presented it was as if they didn't need it. They didn't need the money. They just wanted to keep it for me. But I know the type of family I have. They might use it and be like, okay, I'm your family member now, yes, so we can just find a way to patch up. And I don't want to joke with my education. Exactly. So I had to give it to my mentor. They've given me so many trouble because of me leaving the money with my mentor.
What next in 2020?
Okay, so I've actually gotten admission in the University of Abia State.
To study what?
Public health.
Okay.
So I'm just very excited. It's just like one of my, will I say, biggest dream. I've always dreamt of going to the university, because I can't really place. I don't think my dad went to the university. My mom also, she didn't. So I'm like the first person going to the university from my mom and dad, because even my elder brother, he didn't go. So it's just like a very big thing to me. Absolutely. So I am not planning, no matter what I have to do to finish it, I will finish it.
Fantastic, fantastic. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, ma.
I mean, you know I'm your number one fan.
Yes, ma. But you're my number 2 fan.
Number 1. And so I'm your number 2 fan, and I know that you're going to do so well.
Yes,
and I want you to, believe that a lot of girls are looking up to you. So never forget that.
Yes,
never get to that point where you feel like I've arrived. I'm going to leave anyhow.
Yes,
there are so many teenagers, especially girls, that are going to look up to you, listen to your story, and they'll be inspired. And as you enter the university, make sure you keep yourself and you keep carrying the flag of understanding that you're an ambassador to a lot of girls, especially the ones that are coming from nowhere, who have been downtrodden, have been beaten, have lost hope because they lost family members and all that. Just believe in yourself.
10 years ago, I was a teenager that so much believed in myself, and a teenager that so much believed in capacity and growth as a young person. And one of the things which influenced me was the fact that I exposed myself to reading, books, information gathering. They all built my mindset and prepared me to be exceptional as a teenager. You need to utilize every bit of information that will come towards you. Especially, I would advise that you check out on the internet information that are, opportunities that are related to leadership and communications. This is my way of saying Happy New Year, and may you ever be useful and resourceful through this new year. I remain myself, Izo Samuel Okando.
10 years ago, I was a teenager. And one exciting thing I think happened to me 10 years ago was what I call the discovery stage. Every time as a young person, as a teenager, you don't usually know what your life can become, but then your express search gives you the opportunity to know what you are supposed to do in life. So I wouldn't say in the last 10 years ago, I knew what to do, but the last 10 years has helped shape me and shape where I'm going to. It has helped me discover my strengths, what we call the superpowers. Eventually, it has helped me discover them, and I've experienced a lot of things, done a lot of things. And I'm able to, come to a point where I understand what life is all about. So that's what 10 years was for me, and we are eventually coming into this new phase of life. We call it the decade of opportunities, because a lot of things are going to happen globally in the next 10 years. So as a young person, it's time to actually reposition yourself to the place of value, and you get value by engaging in doing the right things, engaging in the right conversations, changing narratives per se. The things that are not working well, you try to change them. How can you find organizations, find leadership conferences, find somewhere that can help you build value, and once you've done that, you find out that you begin to create a space and a name for yourself. And in the next 10 years, that's what's going to happen. There'll be a massive opportunities coming up, to reshape the world, and you need to really be part of that change that is coming. So happy New Year, and I'm very excited to join you in this year. Thank you so much.
10 years ago, I was just like every other normal teenager who wanted to go with the flow, every other person who wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer just because it was trending. And I could see 10 years ago I was not self-aware, I was not aware of myself or what I was capable of doing or the things I wanted to do. I just wanted to be like every other teenager there. And so the experiences have actually shaped my life, because right now I think self-awareness is the most important thing, is the best thing that can happen to anybody, because when you are self-aware, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know the limits you can pass. So I will advise every teenager there, first of all, to discover the you in you. You have to be aware of what you can do, your capacities and what you are willing to learn. And the world is fast changing and everybody wants just to be in vogue and be out there. So if you don't know who you are and what you can do, you just move and you get lost in the crowd. So in the world where everything is moving, opportunities are everywhere, I would advise you to actually queue into the opportunities, learn the things you can do, always bring value to the table, and you see the sky will be your limit.
10 years ago was like, the past 10 years was a very, very stressful and a learning stage of my life. 10 years ago, I had issues with decision making. 10 years ago, I had issues with going out, making the right choices. But then, out of the large amount of things I've learned always to make the right decisions, think twice always. So this goes out to all the young persons out there. If you can hear me, always stop to think a second time about the action you're going to take. I took a lot of rash decisions in the past 10 years which were not very favorable or which had consequences too. So I've learned to think twice. Before I take any action, I think twice. So I think this is a key word for me for the next 10 years. I must always stop and think, does this benefit me in any way? Is there a value I'm going to gain from this? What value do I gain when I do this? Does it build my capacity? So if it doesn't, I don't think it is needful. The fun can come later in the good old years, and then you can have all the fun you want. But as for now, you need to build up yourself, do what is right, learn new skills, jump into every skill you see, and there's no knowledge that is a waste, but then learn how to take them step after step.
In the last 10 years, it has not been an easy journey. As a young person, you try to explore everything. And what helps me to shape my life and what I'm becoming today is my ability to reevaluate my decision and the kind of friends I keep. And again, being able to develop myself, self-development is very, very important, because when you don't develop yourself, you'll be lacking behind in whatever thing that is happening in the society. Being able to have people I look up to, because very, very important. When you don't have people you are looking up to, you will not be able to have direction in life. And again, I've been able to, make strong decisions at some point, being able to let go some friends, because if you keep having friends, the same friend year in, year out, you'll not be able to move forward, because some friends are there to drag you back at all times. So your ability to do that, reevaluate your decision, knowing who you are, know your kind of friends, know people you look up to, and my friend, you'll be the best you can be in life.
Wow, I hope you were inspired by Chineme's, the talk I had with Chineme, Ota Chineme Joy, and the other words from my friends who talked about the great, the last decade and 2020. This is me wishing you Happy New Year again, and I tell you, please be very intentional about this year. Super intentional, and tell yourself this year is going to be the best for you. I love you. Keep watching Teens Time. Keep bringing your A game to this year, and keep in touch with me. Feel free to reach out to me, and if you want me to mentor you, if you want me to guide you, to coach you, whatever it is, feel free. The numbers, the social media handles, everything is written down here. Feel free to reach out to me, and until I come your way next week, it's still Teens Time. Keep enjoying us, and watch out for the best. I love you. Bye.